Hey, that's how I ended up in this business, because there was nothing better. Like when there was a fucking snow day, that feeling of fucking euphoria that, I don't have to live my life today. You know, it was just fucking great. I don't have to do any homework.
No.
There's no goddamn stress. You know, my dad, one time we had one of those random day offs, a Wednesday.
Yeah.
There was some sort of
teacher conference.
Teacher fucking thing, and like two of them show up.
God bless them.
Right? God bless them for showing up. The rest of them went fucking skiing. We had this random Wednesday off, so he comes home. We're all jumping around and stuff. My dad, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And we're like, oh, we got tomorrow off from school. We don't have to do the homework, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, no. He goes, that's not true. That's not true. Like, yeah, we do. The teacher said. He goes, no, I just heard on the radio on the way back that on the way home, they said you guys have school. They were like, no. They have a parents teacher. And he just stayed with it and just kept going, no. I heard it. We were like, oh, what a ripoff. So my dad, we believe him. So we went upstairs. We did our fucking homework. He didn't say shit. We go to bed. Wake up the next morning, do our paper routes. Doesn't say shit. Okay, get up at like 6 in the morning, do these fucking paper routes. We come in, we're eating breakfast, all right? We got all our books, we're showered, we're ready to go to school. We fucking walk out the door. He doesn't say shit. We go down and stand in front of the whole fucking neighborhood, who all knows his day off. Stand under this tree waiting for the bus. He finally gets in his car to go to work, drives down the end of the driveway, rolls down the window, waves at us, and drives to work and left us there.
And how long did you wait for the bus?
Till a fucking neighbor drove by with their kids. Like, the bus usually
They're going to a water park.
I don't know where they were going, but they were going like, there's no school. And they were like, oh, our dad said there was school. So it made us all look like idiots. I remember calling up my dad. It's the first time I used the F word, and he didn't care. He was laughing so hard. He had this laugh like dying fucking laughing as we would wow, man. I can't believe he didn't fucking... That is the funniest shit ever. That's such a stand-up. I'm telling you, that's how I ended up being a comedian, because right there, like any other parent would just have to look at their kid and be like, all right, man, get back in the fucking house. But a comedian drives away and leaves you there.
Waves.
It's like, as the years go by, the genius of it, it pissed me off when he did it, but that's the funniest shit.
He was like Andy
Dude,
Kaufman.
he made his own kids look like we had something wrong with us, like we were morons.
We were going to school. And then they put you in the position of like someone saying there's no school, and now you got to like on the fly go, well, is my dad lying or is my dad wrong? So you got to defend your dad's honor, but hope he's wrong at the same time. Like you're all mixed up.
I just can't imagine the neighbors just going like, how the fuck did they not know?
Mr. Burr, I saw your son on the bus stop with all his books. Your dad just laughing. That's great. And you're right. That's what separates it. But that's why you wanted to be a comic, because of snow days.
My dad
You didn't want to live your life. And that's what you just said is everything that comedy in one sentence. I wanted to be a comic because I didn't want to do real life.
Because I didn't want to work.
It's the best.
I have no desire. That's why I haven't had guests on my fucking podcast, because I just looked at it like, man, that's going to be work. Here's another classic one of my dad. My brother was it was some hot chick down the street, and she had this fucking she had this house party, like one of those risky ones where where parents are like, yeah, we're leaving, we'll be back in an hour and fucking 10 minutes, and they try to have a party.
Yeah,
it was more like 3 hours, whatever. They come home early, and somehow my brother's looked upon as the ringleader, and he's running out of the house. And the guy knows who he is. My brother's drunk, tells him to fuck off and all that shit. So he knows. So my brother runs home.
First grade.
He runs home. Now, he's like in high school at this point. He runs home, and as he's coming up the house, he's too shit-faced. He sees my parents, the lights are on. I can't go in the house. So he's so drunk, he literally just fucking face plants in the shrubs behind our house right by the side door. And he hears the phone ring, and he knows who it is. And it's the fucking dad down the street calling up about my drunk brother. And my dad picks up the phone, and he just goes, hello. And he hears the guy talking. I was like, what are you talking about? And my dad just starts going, that's not true. That's not true. I just talked to him. He just starts covering for my brother. He was sober. No, sir. And he gets in this big argument with the guy. And my brother's laying on his back in the mulch, laughing his ass off, and then just going like, what a fucking great guy. Like totally covered for my brother.
What was your dad's name?
Huh? I don't put all that shit.
Oh,
out there
okay.
and
This guy's a legend.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He does. He would.
I just spoke to him. How dare you?
Yeah, and so that became a catchphrase between all the kids, whenever we would disagree with you, you just go, "No, sir. No, sir." Because that's what he was doing as this guy was saying.
Did your brother still get in trouble, though, from your dad? Or was your dad just like, boys will be boys?
No, I think he then just sat down. Dude, I got a bunch of classic ones. There was one time, God, how do I say this without getting my brother in trouble? The statute of limitations. My brother, maybe or maybe not.
It's already great.
Vandalized. This is another brother. Vandalized part of the school. So
I think you're going to go into like rape.
No,
you're
no,
like,
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
know, statute of limitations, man.
No, I'm
he
just
may
saying,
or may not have dented a
Hey,
locker.
look, I come from this family tree. You keep your fucking mouth shut no matter what. So, anyways,
don't talk to Tony.
Don't talk to Tony. Tony's got a big fucking mouth. We're going to handle that problem down there in Florida. So, whatever. They knew he did it, and him and his friends somehow intimidated his entire grade to not rat them out. So they went down to the principal's office, and the principal's office going, "I know you did it," and he's trying to yell at him, blah, blah, and they just sat there stone-faced going, "No, we didn't do it. We didn't do it." Then they did they separated, and then he's yelling at my brother, "You did it." And my brother's like, "I didn't do it." "Oh, yeah? Well, your friend in there just dropped dime on you." And my brother didn't fall for it or anything. So finally, the last-ditch effort, the next day my brother gets up, he's going to school, and the principal calls my dad. My dad picks up the phone. He's like, "Hello," and it's funny because he liked old stuff, so we had this old, it was a new phone inside, but on the outside, it's literally you hold the thing up to your ear. My dad's on this
Hello,
thing.
Mrs. Douglas.
So my dad's on the phone, picks it up. He's like, "Hello." He goes, "This is he." "Okay. All right." He goes, "What do you mean you know he did it, but you can't prove it?" And then you hear the guy talking. My dad goes, "Oh, Christ, I don't have time for this shit." And he just fucking hung up on the guy. And my brother drove out. He went to work. My brother said he got on the bus. He was in junior high. And when he pulled up to the school, the principal was standing outside of the school, like rubbing his forehead because he was beat.
I had no such willpower whatsoever. I'll never do time because I'll roll on the whole neighborhood. First time they asked me, I'll be like, "It was Bill Burr. Bill Burr did it." We were at a bar in New Jersey. When we were kids,
Right.
we would have rolled on each other. And then as you get older, like when I moved to Manhattan, I lived on West 43rd Street, and it was all like Westies and all. Like the fire station, you realize, isn't only a fire station.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, "Hey, JJ, you going down, where you going to your manager's office? Will you drop this package off for me?" I don't know why they have Boston accents on West 43rd Street. And I'm like, "Sure." And then you come back like 2 hours later and they're like, "JJ, did you do that thing with the package?" You're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What was in it?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't open it." And they're like, yeah, good job. So I go back to Jersey and I remember, actually I was a senior in high school when we realized you don't tell. Like we were idiots. Nobody wanted to get in trouble because we were really like fucking pussies. And then I played baseball in high school, and the baseball coach was the lieutenant from. There's one lieutenant. Detective. There's one detective in my town. It's such a small town. It's like 1,000 people in my town. Doug Huber, and he was a detective, and he was a great guy, and he coached our baseball team in high school. Mm-hmm. And then we all would go to the Verona Inn and drink, and we were all underage. And some guy came from like Cedar Grove, which is like the arch rival, and they just fucking beat the shit out of him. Someone stabbed him with like a pocket knife in his legs. Jesus and Doug Huber came in and goes, "What happened here?" And everybody, like the bar owner, the grown-ups, and like the teenagers all said, "I was in the bathroom." And I remember like going, "Holy shit." And like the revelation at that moment to realize this will actually work if we all just hold the company line. Like it was the first time. And I'm like a senior in high school. And then Doug Huber gets me alone. He goes, "I've known you a long time, JJ. Just tell me what happened." I go, "I was in the bathroom, Doug." And he goes, "Who's in the bathroom with you?" I said, "I was in the bathroom." And then he literally like broke it down like person to person to person and goes, "How long were you in the bathroom?" And you go, "I don't know. I was in the bathroom." Like this shit went on. We were there till like the sun came up in this bar. And then 6 months go by. We're playing tournament baseball. And I think we were at West Essex High School playing baseball. And I'm hitting leadoff. And I hit a leadoff double. And Doug Huber, the detective, who's also the coach of the baseball team, goes, time. And he just starts jogging out towards like the third baseline. We're in the visitor dugout. And he goes, "JJ." And I'm like, "All right, I guess we're switching the signs up." He goes, "When do you go have a seat?" And he's like, "I don't know, Joe Morton, go," he switches out and there's a new guy in second base. I'm just sitting on the bench like, I don't even know what the fuck just happened. Right. So like 3 innings go by. I go, "Coach." And he goes, "Yeah, how you doing?" I go, "Why did you pull me?" He goes, I don't know. I was in the bathroom. Fucking 6 months that guy sat on that shit. And that was the only way he could get it.
Did you laugh?
No, because I got because by then I'd forgotten the whole thing happened. And I thought I thought then.
I got scared.
Yeah, I was a scared kid. I was alone a lot. Nobody ever told me shit.
Dude,
like you had brothers, at least, to go like, no, that's not what you do. You go up to the guy and tell him, watch your fucking mouth when you're around my sister or whatever like that.
No,
I was just alone on my bike, and you know what I would do? I'd take my bike 2 towns over because nobody knew who I was, and I could just recreate a new identity. Like, hi, I'm Mike Majors. I just moved. And they're like, which house? And I'd be like, right around. I'd be like De Niro on Goodfellas. No, right in there. That's my house, right in there. And I would just make up like some new identity for the day and play with new kids.
Mike Majors.
But
No,
that was my fake name.
no, believe me, dude. I like I said, I stopped fighting, getting into fights like somewhere sixth grade, maybe 7th grade. The kids were just way too big, and I totally got psyched out and intimidated right quickly after elementary school, and I went more to the funny thing.
I wish I fought more. Like my dad never taught me to fight. He always said, tell the teacher. And he didn't realize, like, tell the teacher. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Which is the responsible as far as like,
And,
to tell a kid. You don't want to tell a kid to beat the shit out of another kid.
You tell a 4-year-old, tell the teacher. You tell a 12-year-old,
Right,
let's go down in the basement. You lead with the jab, circle away from the power hand, and then the cross right. You just got to end this because it's never going to end.
But what they always forget, like how that's going to reflect on you, and then they always just say, "Well, you shouldn't care what people think about you."
Is
and
it
then,
true?
And then
no. Well, if it's not true, it shouldn't bother you.
Yeah. Then he's not a real friend of yours, and then they just send you into this fucking gauntlet. And even if it's not that bad and ass kicking, it's the fact that it's your entire life
And shame.
that it's your existence. That it's like, yeah, Mom, how would you like if you went to work and got the shit kicked out of you every day? Well, they're just not your real friends, Mom. Take a different way to your cubicle,
None of us knew we could fight. When I was a junior in high school, we were in the wrestling room, and there was this kid, Pete Bush, who was pretty much an albino. Like I don't have the card that anybody signed off on it.
Right.
But he was pretty much an albino, and he had like thick like glasses all day long. But on the mat,
oh, a bastard.
the guy was a fucking savage animal. And yet, no, you know what? He couldn't have been an albino because he got accepted to West Point. I'm pretty sure albino would not accept an albino. I'm pretty sure West Point has a no albinos policy. Sorry. But he looked like one.
I've never seen one. I've never seen an albino.
I don't think you can be out in that
They at
heat.
least don't. When the president shows up, he's not part of that line that's standing at attention, flipping the guns around.
Never. No, I don't think you can be an albino at West Point. So
They got him up in the tower.
But he looked like, that's where he needs to be. Shaded. He looked like an albino, and he was like a weird guy. He didn't really talk. He was a genius. He got accepted to West Point, and then one day, like this big fucking football guy was just henpecking the shit out of him. And Pete Bush wrestled like 118 pounds, and his other kid was like 220. And Pete Bush turned around, shot a double leg, took the guy's legs out from under him, and then just sat on his chest like da-da-da-da-da, just punched the shit out of him. And we were all like laughing, like, did you fucking see what Pete Bush did?
Right.
Like, how lucky he got, how funny it was. And we thought it was funny. And our wrestling coach, Jim Sauer, goes, you guys think that's funny? You guys don't even know what you've been doing in here your whole lives, learn how to fight? Are you fucking idiots? What do you think? Some fucking big fat offensive tackle is going to take out a guy that's been practicing takedowns for the last 8 years? Get your heads out of your asses. Like, he screamed at us. He goes, of course he knows how to fight. He's a fucking wrestler. He was like cursing like that and we're all like, at that moment, we're all like, holy shit. Like, you can use these takedowns like out there? I thought it was just on a mat in like a
your whole thing is
in a queer singlet.
Yeah, you meet some guy in a mall who wants to go at it, and you punk out and give him your wallet. But if there was a mat, you'd be like, all right, and you have your little earmuff things on, so you don't.
Yeah, but all fights, what you're saying is true. But all fights and MMA, like, it all winds up on the ground. If you're in a fight in the parking lot between two parked cars, I'm sorry, if I get you to a knee, that shit is over. I don't care how fucking big you are, unless you wrestle too, then you probably beat me up.
That's why I have just fury. I go for about 18 seconds, and then you got me. Then I'm wheezing.